So how do you actually engineer a major personal transformation and do it in just 5 days? What's the blueprint for taking someone from a simple idea to a belief that completely changes their life? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and deconstruct the architecture of a modern faith journey step by step.
Every great journey needs a starting point, right? A thesis statement. And for this one, it's this incredibly powerful quote from the book of Mark. Now, this isn't just some nice, inspirational opening. It's the entire foundation. It sets the stage for the whole experience, framing it around what the program calls mountain-moving faith.
Okay, so the goal here is pretty huge. This isn't just a week of lectures. It's designed to be an immersive, structured journey. The whole point is to close that gap between knowing a concept in your head and truly living it out in your life, and to do it all in a really compressed, high-impact, 5-day window.
So what's the game plan? What does this 5-day map for this journey actually look like? Let's break down the blueprint.
And here it is. You can really see the logic here, can't you? It all starts with a solid foundation. Then it moves right into the practical side of things with biblical living. It's only after that groundwork is laid that it tackles the big one, the core psychological hurdle, the mindset shift. From there, it's all about turning that new mindset into active faith, before finally making sure that change sticks through renewal and integration. See? Each day is a deliberate step up from the one before.
All right, let's dive into the first steps. The journey kicks off by immediately laying that groundwork and getting a core commitment from every single person there. Think of the first 2 days like a strategic 1-2 punch. Day 1, using that scripture from Mark, is all about establishing the possibility of this mountain-moving faith. Then day 2 builds on it right away, using Hebrews to shift the focus to the practice, living by that faith, not by your fleeting emotions. It's a really smart combination of principle and application right out of the gate.
So, how do you keep that intensity going? Well, this is a critical piece of the design. Pre-class action items. Before each session, participants have specific things they need to do. This makes sure that the learning isn't passive. It builds momentum, it creates accountability, and it guarantees everyone shows up already invested and ready to go.
Everything we've talked about so far, it's all building up to the journey's most pivotal moment, day 3. This is the central challenge. This is where all that foundational theory gets put to the test and forged into real, practical application.
This slide really breaks down the core internal conflict the whole program is trying to solve. On one side, you have living by old data, making decisions based on your feelings, your past failures, your limitations. The program calls this practical unbelief. The whole goal is to shift people over to the other side, living by renewed belief, which is based on faith and what's possible in the future. This is the pivot from just theory to what they call practical transformation.
Okay, so after tackling that mindset shift, the program is engineered to create a breakthrough. This stage is all about flipping a switch, moving from passively having a belief to proactively activating it.
Now, to really get what the program is trying to fix, we need to understand this key term they use, the Christian welfare mentality. In the context of this journey, it's basically describing a passive kind of faith, waiting for blessings to just happen to you instead of co-creating your life with your faith through your own personal action and responsibility.
So the entire focus here is to break that sense of passive dependency. This is the intended reward of the whole journey, that breakthrough moment where a participant shifts into a proactive belief that actually fuels real, tangible action in their life.
But, a breakthrough is kind of useless if it's temporary, right? The final stage is what they call the journey home, and it's all about integration. This day is specifically designed to make sure the transformation isn't just some workshop high, but a real sustainable change that gets woven into the fabric of your daily life.
So when you step back and look at the complete arc, the deliberate design is just so clear. You can see the psychological path it takes you on, from establishing a core belief to confronting your internal blocks, to activating that belief through action, and then finally making it a permanent part of who you are. It's a clear, logical path from A to B.
And crucially, the journey doesn't just end on day 5 and leave you hanging. The final session is designed to lock in the change. It combines celebration to reinforce the positive experience with clear, actionable next steps. This gives you a bridge back to real life and answers that huge question, okay, so what now?
Deconstructing this whole blueprint leaves us with a really fascinating question. We've seen the power of a deliberate path, daily accountability, and group momentum.
So how does a highly structured, guided journey like this really differ from trying to achieve the same transformation on your own just by reading a book? And what does that tell us about how we actually engineer personal change?